All right. Here we are. Back again. One Horse Town Podcast, episode 9. Let's get going. All right. So here we are back again. One Horse Town Podcast with myself, the real Mr. Jaime, aka Jaime V. It has been some time since I've done one of these. I wanted to give a quick update on the content. There's a lot coming, hopefully. If I get, my engines going, I have been craving creating content. I've made a few Pokemon videos. If you subscribe to my channel, I'm sure you know that. But I think the last vlog I made was concerning this desk, actually. So this is the first piece of content, besides the Pokemon cards, piece of content you're seeing here from my new desk. You can't really see a lot of it here on the podcast. It's kind of a dark setting right now. It's 8 p.m. on December 1st, 2020. And we're here. I can't believe that. December 1st. Can you believe that? In March, we just got into this COVID thing, and we thought we'd be out in a few months, and we're here in December, still living it. But we've adapted. We've overcome, hopefully. We've become different. We've changed a little bit, hopefully. And I've learned a lot, for sure. I'm kind of like scattered all over the place here. It's been a while since I've done one of these, obviously, like I said. But I guess, a quick update on the content that is to come. The next vlog, I want to do, I suppose, a room tour. I'm sure you've seen glimpses of it. Of course, you're seeing it now. I have my wall full of cars. I have like my desk right here, my dresser, the TV. And then, of course, that back wall over there with all my baseball cards. But there's actually a new addition. There's actually a shelf for my movies now. So most, if not all, my movies are now in an organized spot. And hoping to do, of course, I want to do the 100 movies list. I have to continue that. I've only done part 1. I do want to make a part 2. I wanted to get my movies organized first before I do that. So look forward to that coming pretty soon. But I will mention, since we are talking about the movies list, that there have been a few movies I've been thinking about adding to the top 10 list. I wrote down 3 that I'm considering to put into this list. All right. So the first one I wrote down here is Good Will Hunting. Now, Good Will Hunting is a phenomenal film written by 2 young guys at the time, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, who won an Oscar for this script. I think it's just very powerful and real, and it's just surprising to see something like this come from a young mind like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. There's some great performances by Robin Williams, the late Robin Williams. And it just touches on some very strong themes that, with psychology and childhood trauma and relationships, friendships, and who we keep close, and the doors we shut or the walls we build up to keep people out of our lives. It's very interesting, fascinating. And I learn a lot every time I watch it. It's a good watch. It's funny. It has good drama. And I think it's a great film, and I'm highly considering it to be in my top 10, but there's a lot of films to be considered, so let's continue. The other film I was thinking about a lot lately was There Will Be Blood. Directed by one of my favorite directors, my top 5 for sure, Paul Thomas Anderson. This film, the reason I really like it is because I really enjoy history and American history, and it's really like the early 1900s, late 1800s, like the cowboy era. I really enjoy that time, and it's really interesting to see how like the the first people in America to get oil, to become rich, and you can see like a lot of greed in this movie, and of course an amazing performance by Daniel Day-Lewis as Daniel Plainview, also an Oscar winner. And I think it's just, there's some really gritty drama in this movie. And of course, it's beautifully shot. Paul Thomas Anderson just does a great job, and his aesthetic is very unique. There's more to say about There Will Be Blood. But another film I am considering for the top 10 is Birdman. I think Birdman is not talked about enough, because I think at the time it came out, it did something that no other film had really done, and that was to stitch together the film to make it look like one continuous shot. I think the closest thing to that was like this movie called Russian Ark, and I think it really was filmed from beginning to end without cutting, but it took quite a few times to do it, but it was very well choreographed. But this film is very interesting because it talks about a lot of different things and not just one thing, which is fascinating. Great direction by Alejandro Iñárritu, great cinematography, and the writing, of course, is just all over the place. A lot of different themes, purpose, legacy, possibly, I suppose so. A lot of things that have to be said. A lot of great performances. You got Emma Stone, Edward Norton, Naomi Watts. Man, I'm blanking on the main character's name, to be honest with you. He plays well, there's a lot to say about Birdman. I will get into it in hopefully future pieces of content, which brings me to my next point. Content in general. I guess let's give a recap on the year, on 2020, and let's also talk about 2021 and what's to come for that, and what's been in my head lately. Okay, so stick with me here. I know it's been some time. I know it's 7 minutes. If you're here with me, let's go. So 2020 so far, it has been crazy. We all know that. It's been crazy. A lot of stuff has happened. Do you remember there was a time during quarantine where everyone was doing push-up challenges? And now we're long gone from that. We've forgotten about that. There's been this crazy flow of time in quarantine. It doesn't even feel like it's real. So if you've stuck with me this far, this long into my year, my journey into creating content. I think officially my first video, I think I released it in February, which was, what was it? I think it was the writing vlog. Excuse me. I think the writing vlog was the first piece of content, excuse me again, that I created this year and posted on YouTube. And the reason, I think I've mentioned, I've mentioned why I got into creating content. I won't get into it, but February was the official date of that content creation. I think that where it just kind of started flowing. The writing vlog started coming along, and then quarantine happened. The shelter in place happened, which we had to kind of adapt and change things around, and the world just became a different place for sure. So from there, I remember doing the writing vlog still from home. It just didn't work out as well because, my partner, Anthony, my writing partner at the time, it's hard to get, I guess, good content when you're in different places, when you have to record over the phone. And I think at a certain point in time, the audio from the Instagram Live, that's what we were doing it on. I think it was in good quality, so I just stopped doing that. But I still wanted to create, I still wanted an outlet to express myself. So eventually, I think that, it did evolve into the real vlogs, which I am very satisfied with right now. And so far, I've done 20 episodes. That sounds crazy. But I've done 20 episodes of the real vlog, and then this one here being 9 of the One Horsetown podcast, which kind of stemmed from the 1st and the 15th podcast. I'd never done a podcast, and Anthony and I started a podcast, I think sometime in May. I think it was Anthony's idea that started this thing. And I learned a lot from it, which led me to wanting to do my own type of podcast. Here we are, kind of just a free form where we can just talk about anything. The 1st and the 15th is more of it's more serious, I think. And I wanted to do something on my own, so here we are with One Horsetown podcast. And then, of course, the Pokemon cards and the baseball cards in between. Learning a lot of stuff there as well. And just kind of rediscovering things that I used to enjoy as a child, collecting Hot Wheels as well. I really got into that. Even though I was already into it before 2020, I really dug in and really I made it my own, I made it my a staple, I guess. I'm not sure. I had an interesting year. I learned a lot about myself. I really dug in there. There's been ups and downs for sure. I wasn't always happy. I'm very content right now. I have, things, sure. But my family's in good health, thankfully. My friends are in good health. I've gone closer to a few other people, have learned a lot from them. And I'm hoping to build on those relationships this coming year, 2021. So now I do want to speak about 2021 and what's to come for that year, and what I want to do and what I want to create. And I have been thinking about what this year means to me and what all that content I created means to me, because ultimately it's a document. It's a document to myself, right? This is something that the reason I do this, the reason I put out this content, the reason I recorded these podcasts and these videos is I really enjoy watching it. It's very interesting to see yourself, your past self, and how you've changed. And what I want to do with this, put it all out there on the internet, on YouTube, on Instagram, all the social medias, right? So that I can look back. So that 10 years from now, hopefully, which sounds crazy, in 2030, in the year 2030, I can look back at the videos I created, all 60-something of them, and go, wow, that was the first time, that was the first year. That was the first year of the content creation and my mentality, following those 3 things that I've been trying to do all this year. Being positive, staying focused, being patient, right? So 2021, I have to do a lot of Pokemon content. A lot. I'll give you, I'm sure, if you follow me on TikTok, maybe you've seen it. But I have to do a lot. I have to open this tin. I have to open this lunch. I'm not going to take everything down. It's going to be a hassle. But a lot of Pokemon stuff. A lot of A lot of tins. Elite Trainer boxes, packs. And thankfully I have my new Charizard mat, so we can do all of that there. I'm trying to stay at least once a week, try to put out Pokemon card content, but I know this is the last month, so I don't want to force anything. I don't want to push it, but definitely expect some Pokemon card stuff. If you're into that, stick around. 2021 is going to have a lot of Pokemon in it. And then as for the vlogs, I do want to continue that, hopefully at a higher frequency. I do want to put out more vlogs. I do have trouble sometimes with motivation, like actually going up, getting up, going out there, getting ready, filming something, editing the thing, and then putting it out there. Because I have this thing in me where I want to create. I want to take out my camera and record something. It's hard to do that, especially right now because of quarantine, for sure. But it made me think about, what could I do if we weren't in this situation? If we could just go out, like when it comes to that time when we don't have to wear masks, and we don't have to stay 6 feet apart, and we can go anywhere we want, like we're back. Once we're back to it, hopefully the content just gets better. If I start just putting out more and more and more, and I get, I just know, it's just routine. I know what I'm doing. Like, I just go and I edit and I put it out, and it's easy. When it just becomes easier, hopefully it just becomes better. So I'm looking forward to just making a lot more content in 2021. This was like the learning year, and it's just going to get better. There's just going to be more podcasts, more vlogs, more Pokemon, more baseball, hopefully. And who knows what else? Who knows what else I will push myself to do? Maybe a short film, maybe a feature. Who knows? Maybe not next year. Maybe not a feature next year. But, and I also need to finish my script. I have been putting some work in. It has been fleshing out. It's not something I want to rush, because it's something that's going to take some time, and I want to make it perfect, down to the detail. So that's something to look forward to. But in the meantime, we got to keep documenting, got to keep sharing. And we'll see what happens. I don't know what else I have to say. I wrote down a few notes here. I think we got to everything. Yeah. Okay. So really quick, I'll give you, I guess a quick, I think I already mentioned that. Yeah. So I think for the next vlog, we'll do a room tour. You can see what's on the desk. That'll probably come out like a little after this one. We'll see. But I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else to say. I said a lot. It's hard to keep track of things in my brain sometimes. But pretty much it. Yeah, I think just to bring it back around, a lot more content coming next year. This year was very interesting. We learned a lot. And we'll look forward to some, what? I do want to mention movies. I think next year I really want to push my movie brand, because I have a vast knowledge of films, and I don't think people know that. And sometimes it makes me upset. I don't know why. It's such a dumb thing to say. Like when someone's trying to figure out a movie, I so bad want to know what's going on in your head so I can figure it out, because I probably know. If you give me like a little bit, if you tell me who's in it, or like any little events that might have happened in this film, I could probably figure it out for you. And at the same time, I have to admit, I don't know everything about movies. I haven't seen every single movie, but I have seen a lot of movies, especially ones that have been embedded in our culture. I have a lot of movies myself. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you've seen them. Almost 500 movies that I own. So I have physically watched all those movies, plus a bunch of other movies that I don't own. So think about that. I just really want people to know I really, really love movies. And it's one of the really main reasons I'm still alive here is because movies. Movies are magic, and I'm so passionate about them. And I think movies need to be, rated like a higher caliber of like importance. Like movies are so important for human beings ultimately because we can learn from them. We can see people fail and overcome their obstacles, and I think there's so much we can do with movie. There's so much more potential for story, and I think there needs to be some more original stories to be told, and I want to tell my stories. You know, I have some very interesting fictional stories to tell, but you know, we have to remember it does take patience, it takes time, it takes hard work, focus, it takes positivity. So we got to keep at it. I do want to say thank you so much for stopping by this One Horse Town podcast. It's always a pleasure to do this. Always nice to be here. It has been some time, like I said, so I might be a little all over the place. We'll see you next time on One Horse Town podcast. Thank you so much for stopping by.